Greetings, YouTube. I have a simple question. Do consumers have the right to complain? I'm going to give you a couple of examples here. The first is Kershaw knives. I own a lot of Kershaw knives. I'm a big Kershaw knife fan. And over the years, I've purchased two that were faulty after having purchased them. I returned the knives because I was dissatisfied with the product in question. Kershaw agreed with me and sent me knives in return to replace them. So I think that most people would feel that I had a legitimate complaint, I made it, and there was a resolution. Another example of someone that might want to complain about something is for the facial animation in the latest Mass Effect, which frankly looks nothing better than what was out there for Fallout New Vegas. It's just horrible that a AAA game has facial animation that bad, that deeply in the uncanny valley. And lots of people have complained about it, and I think it's utterly legitimate that people complain about that facial animation. It's just horrible. It should have never left the beta testing. Heck, it shouldn't have left the alpha testing. Um, and I don't think anyone's going to say, oh, okay, it's not, they shouldn't complain about it because it's got all these other wonderful features that, that, that people should appreciate. And no, it's just ugly, and people should have the right to complain about it. By that same metric, if someone sees something in the game they don't like, it's a feature that just doesn't work, or it's a feature that's lacking in a game that really should have such a feature, I think they have the right to complain about it. And I think that a lot of people would support that. The thing that I don't quite understand is why some folks get upset when other folks complain about things and they don't seem to like those complaints. Examples of that are when there are nothing but white boys as protagonists. When the producers of games have marginalized everyone else in the universe except for white men. The protagonists are very rarely women. When they are women, the products frequently get less marketing. They're very rarely anyone of color. Thankfully, some of the better games nowadays allow you to customize your character, like Fallout. 4 did a really nice job with that, except you could only be in a heterosexual marriage, which I didn't quite understand. They have the models. All they had to do was put the option in, you want to have 2 wives or 2 husbands, and that would have just been fine. They have quite a bit of customization in Mass Effect. I didn't see the full range. I am watching the Many a True Nerds playthrough by John, but he did not do a full range of options. Like Lumen, for example, will often go through painstaking levels of character design, so you really get to see the full range of what's possible. John doesn't do that. But many games have now gotten to the point where you can play whatever you want as far as an appearance goes. You are sometimes still locked into heteronormative relationships, though. Some have gotten better at that, not all of them, and I appreciate the ones that have taken the effort to do that. But when games don't do this, and when they make a big deal about the fact that, well, we can't have a female character because of XYZ, we all know that's bullshit. We know it's possible. Heck, they did it in Lara Croft how long ago? And how well did that game sell? Games, plural. Not to mention, was it 2 movies? And they're doing a 3rd coming up? So yes, these things do sell, and when these things aren't available to the consumers, and the consumers aren't just white boys. Women play games, minorities play games. And for example, was it one of the Resident Evil games where like all the black people were just zombies to be shot? It was like the KKK had designed this particular scene. They have the right to complain about that. And it isn't out of bounds. It isn't anything out of the ordinary. Looking for representation in your entertainment is not strange. Everyone should get to see themselves in their entertainment because everyone exists in the real world. And asking for the same level of diversity in your entertainment, be it a video game, a TV show, a film, a novel, a comic book, an animated series, is not out of bounds. You should see yourself in the games, in your media. Everyone should. Regardless of your melanin levels or your gender identities or your sexual orientations or your ethnicities or your handicap status, your able status. You should see yourself. And when you don't, and people complain about it, that is completely and utterly legitimate. And I'm really tired of listening to the people that think it isn't.